Alan Shearer, Newcastle fans must educate ourselves on rights abuses. Alan Shearer believes Newcastle United supporters must be willing to take on board criticism of the Saudi backing the club will receive as part of their £305 million takeover. Mike Ashley's debilitating 14-year reign at St James Park was officially brought to an end on Thursday with news that the Premier League had finally ratified a takeover involving the Saudi Public Investment Fund. While the news brought wild scenes in Newcastle, as fans assembled outside the ground to celebrate the news, it has also brought with it plenty of concern. Amnesty International are among those to publicly disapprove of the deal, while Hadis Sengiz, the fiancé of murdered Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, has described the ratification as a real shame. Amongst all the jubilant scenes in the northeast, Shearer has insisted that these concerns cannot be shut out by fans. "We owe it to ourselves and the wider world to listen to the evidence about human rights abuses in Saudi, to educate ourselves and know what we're getting into," he wrote in his column for The Athletic. "Football puts us in difficult positions. And it can make hypocrites of us too. We hate that tough-tackling bastard who plays for another team right until the moment he signs for us, and then he becomes our bastard. It seems to me that ethical issues have not played a huge part in Newcastle's takeover. Should they be a fundamental strand of the owners and directors test? Perhaps they should, and perhaps the whole system of governance and ownership needs reform to reflect that." While Shearer says supporters have a duty of care to educate themselves, he rejects criticism of them for celebrating a momentous day in the club's history. The 51-year-old experienced firsthand the erratic and chaotic nature of the Mike Ashley regime when he was manager for a brief spell in 2009, and the end of such grueling times on Tyneside is welcome. And he insists that fans cannot be held accountable for a changing of ownership that they held no sway in. "What I find harder to accept is that Newcastle fans should be asked to defend something they have no control over," he added. "This is a transaction conducted between a billionaire and some richer billionaires. We haven't been consulted. If Saudi is your line in the sand, then I accept, respect and completely understand it. But there have been other lines too. Maybe it was Russian involvement in the Premier League, China or Abu Dhabi. Maybe it was Americans using a club's own money to help complete a purchase. Qatar is hosting a World Cup.